meditate?
Yes, I do.
Okay. On a regular basis?
I do it in like different ways, but I'm trying to get more deep into it because I do understand like the importance of it.
Yeah, because that'll align you. Like life, creating these situations, stuff, it'll align you like with your intuition. It'll say, go through this door, go here, go do this.
Right.
And then you show up and magic happens, you know?
Because I'm at the right place at the right time. Wow.
Yeah. But the intuition will help you get into the rhythm of life and, you know, the flow where life is taking you. And just like this idea, that came from spirit. That didn't come from me. I was just thinking, I wasn't even thinking, I was just sitting here, and that came up, that vision.
Wow.
When you were talking about it. And you'll tap into that too, that creativity will come out.
Yeah.
You know, so the meditation, and, you know, it's the kind of meditation that connects you with spirit, like the meditations that have been around for thousands of years. Because they didn't have to relax the mind like a lot of these new meditations is all about relaxing the mind.
Yeah.
They were about, because they didn't have too much stress, they were about connecting to the spirit. So they came up with a way, and they did it, and they've been done for thousands of years. So it's a tried and true way for us to connect with ourselves, you know, our higher selves, our true self.
Do you know any literature that speaks about that, or do you know like different ways?
So I mean, you know, if you go into like Hinduism, Buddhism, Taoism, you know, any of those like Eastern philosophies, you'll find it. You know, there's different cultures that have it in it, but you know, those four that I mentioned have plenty for you to you know, figure it out in, or, you know, get on the right track in. And you know, have you ever heard of transcendental meditation?
I have heard of it. I have.
Because they're probably the most popular, because they're very organized and stuff. It'll cost like, you know, maybe, I think around $500, but they'll give you a personal mantra that'll be the vibration of the earth when you were born, when you came into this physical reality.
Okay.
So it's like a car, like a vehicle that brings you back to that place, you know, in yourself, like that primal place where you first came in. And the teacher will also, you know, spend time with you. So if you have questions, or, you know, you have issues that come up, because the mind will try to get in the way.
It does always.
Right, and they'll tell you how to deal with it. Basically, the mind's going to do that at the beginning anyway, because the mind has to, like, you know, be loud and obnoxious to get your attention, be in your face. That's what it wants to do.
Right.
It wants your attention all the time. And when you sit down quietly, you're giving it the stage. So naturally, at the beginning, it's gonna, you know, it's gonna like
be like loud.
Be going. It'll be talking. It'll be active.
Okay.
Okay. So just let it go. When you notice yourself like getting off track, like from the mantra, or watching your breathing, whatever it is, just say, "Oh, I'm just off track." Just bring yourself back gently, and don't beat yourself up. Just know that's the initial phase that you go through, because the mind is just like anything or anybody. You give them time to speak their piece,
right?
And they run out of energy. Like, if you resist and say, no, you can't, they build up energy. But if you just like let them say it, they feel like they've been hurt or whatever, and they don't have so much to say anymore, right?
That's very true.
And that happens with the mind too. And then that's when you really get in touch with yourself, because it's between the thoughts. Then you'll be able to hear your heart or your spirit, which speaks, you know, in very subtly. So it's a language, or it's a listening that you'll develop as you continue to meditate. You'll start, you know,
it'll be just like second nature.
You'll start understanding what your spirit's communicating to you, and you get more in line with it.
Wow. This is an amazing conversation. I really needed to hear that.
Oh, did you? Okay, good.
No, I seriously did. That's why I'm so quiet and I'm like kind of blown away.
Yeah, well, that's how it happens for me, because this is my life purpose, and life is doing this for you and for me, like putting us together so I can like share my natural gifts and talents,
right,
with somebody that has a need for it or desire for it or is wanting that. Like your consciousness, like you've been thinking about this or something lately. Is that what it was?
Yeah, and then like, cause is it kind of like the saying like, okay, when the student is ready, the teacher
exactly.
appears.
Yeah, exactly. Or like life, like your spirit. You ask it a question, it'll provide an answer. It's like we have this misconception in society, like spirit is like this hard thing to like. It's like evasive. No, our mind gets in the way. We're evasive.
Yeah.
Spirit's already right here, right now, communicating to you.
But we have so much
but
clutter.
We have the mind that's in the way, the clutter of the mind, and the concerns of the mind, the worry,
yeah,
the safety, all that. It's like getting in the way of, like what the Spirit's saying. It's saying, you're an eternal being. You have nothing to fear. Your place in this whole creation, not even this universe, because this is physical reality. In this whole scenario, your place is set for eternity.
Wow.
So whatever happens in this body is just like entertainment.
Yeah, because I went yesterday to a Thai place for a massage. It's called Luxury Thai Spa.
Yeah.
And I was getting a forehead massage, and so when I laid down on a table, which tends to happen to me at times, when I laid my head down in that little circle, my anxiety got the best of me. But as soon as it was a man and a woman, they began by wiping me down, and it's like immediately it went away.
Yes.
And the whole experience, it was like more than a massage to me. It felt spiritual. I felt like like they were transferring some type of energy that I needed, that I didn't realize that I needed.
Right. And see, this is the thing,
and they worked on me 30 minutes extra.
Yeah, we can block ourselves. However we block ourselves in our minds and in our bodies. So anytime you do body work, that's releasing those blocks in your body, and you're able to get in touch with your spirit there. Because most of the time, or most people, because of this fear, we are out of our bodies. So even though I come into our bodies, we're like reconnecting with ourselves.
Yeah.
And now it sounds like so any type of body work that you can do is going to help dissolve those, what I call inner barriers. And those are things, safety mechanisms that we created in our childhood development that we keep running in our lives, that is keeping us from living from spirit, which is fearless, which is peaceful, which is, like the highest intelligence, way beyond the mind, because it can take all the data in, like what's happening, because the mind can only deal in the past, what's happened in the past, whereas the spirit's dealing in the present, and there's so many variables that the mind can't even compute.
Wow, I've never heard it like that.
Yeah. Well, it's the truth.
Wow.
The mind's limited. It can only process 7 bits of information at a time. And it's always in the past. That's where it looks for data. Yeah. That's all the mind does, is reviews data. What's happened? Who else had that experience? And then, we tap into, the group consciousness where, everybody's, buys into those same limiting beliefs.
And so that's when the cycle continues.
Yes.
Wow.
But I'm a cycle breaker.
I see that, because I feel, I'm honored to even be sitting here.
Oh.
And, just listening. And I know this is a message that I was supposed to receive.
Absolutely.
And I thank you for that.
That's your spirit. That's your spirit. Well, thank you for acknowledging me, but really it's coming from yourself, your higher self.
Wow.
It coordinated this to happen. Whereas if you weren't even thinking about it, but even if you did, like, who could I go out and talk to get this kind of information?
Exactly.
But life, your higher spirit said, here, we're gonna, because it wants us to, our spirit wants us to evolve and see the truth of who we are. So like I said, the spirit is like, how should I say it?
You just blew my mind, just this whole conversation, just the way you've been breaking down stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like now things are clear. Like even when it comes to, like you said, the thing about our minds being stuck in the past and the capacity and about spirit being about acknowledging what's going on right now.
Yeah.
So isn't that what meditation is about, is being actually present in what's happening now?
Yeah.
Okay.
You get in touch to the spirit. Yeah, because, when you're sitting meditating, not much is happening. But you're actually getting in touch with that spirit side of you, where all that wisdom is. Like, I'm only a slice of it. So imagine like infinite wisdom. You're communing with it yourself. Anytime you want to sit down and commune with yourself, you can get in touch with that wisdom, that infinite wisdom, and you can start to like
get out of my regular thoughts.
Unconstrict yourself.
Oh, great. Yeah.
Like free yourself. Yeah, that's it. You can free yourself.
And that's what I've been yearning, honestly.
That's what? Yearning?
Yeah, that's what I've been yearning for, is like freedom, my own, and it's not everybody else, is the things I place upon myself, acknowledging them and actually knowing this needs to be removed and only you can do it.
Yeah. And a lot of those things, here's some more knowledge for you. A lot of those things are in the reptilian part of your brain, which was the only part of your brain that was fully functional in childhood development. So those things in those areas are life and death decisions.
Okay.
So the brain's going to hold on to those. So, because what I'm doing is I'm just saying, don't beat yourself up if you can't let them go. Just keep acknowledging that they're there and get in touch with, like, what is it specifically, and spirit will guide you to that. And then, you'll come into contact with a healer that can say, life will put it, and you got this here issue, okay, here's what I want to, or it's body work, or it's energy work, or something that'll like help you push through that. But in the meditation, you can like sit down and like take a look at, because that's the beauty of these minds that separates us. It's not only the thumbs that separates from the animals, but it's the mind where we can have that self reflection.
Wow.
And that's how we can realize the truth of who we are. That's how we can discover the spirit in us, because we can step back and say, who's really running the show here?
Right.
Who's really got a grasp on things? It's you, it's your higher self, but it's not this body self. It's the spirit self. It's the eternal self of you. And you get in touch with that. And you start bringing that into your life.
Okay.
That perfection. I was getting to when you're sitting with that spirit, you'll see the self-reflection. You'll see, like you said, you see things you need to let go. Well, the things that you can let go of, and you can let go of.
Okay.
But then you'll see things too. I guess things that
I need to accept.
No, things that you're doing that you don't see that you're doing now.
Oh,
like behind
okay.
the scenes kind of thing. Because right now that stuff is kind of surface. But you get lower, because remember, these are safety mechanisms. So there'll be things that won't seem logical.
Okay.
But to a infant, you know, those were the only choices that it could make. And I'm talking about things like, you know, I'm not worthy, you know, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Which, you know, we don't really get in touch with those things unless we just spend some time and just like take a look, like what's going on with us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
We distract ourselves with a lot of things.
Yeah, we distract ourselves from that stuff because we don't want to face it.
That's true.
Right? But with the meditation, you get a chance to like look at yourself, not with a judgmental thing, but like, you know, how is this happening? You know, like an objective thing. Like, how is this being created? Because
so
we're
not
creators.
We're
Either we're creating what we want or what we don't want.
Okay.
We're always creating something. So now it's just a matter of like seeing how we're creating it, and then undoing the creating of it.
Got it.
Does that make sense? I
know
I lost you there a little because I got a little bit out there.
No.
But that's kind of like the details of those safety mechanisms.
So it's kind of like taking things apart in order to see how it works, or just to see what's there.
Instead of like
that's how I computed it.
Yeah, that's a great way to do it. Then I got it across, as opposed to just going along and, you know, keep running into a brick wall.
Yeah.
Going, by gosh, I'm running into. Why do I keep? You know, what makes me to keep running into this brick wall?
So, like you said, is acknowledging it.
Yeah.
Not beating yourself up about it.
Yeah, just acknowledge it and seeing how you're doing it. Yeah. Because awareness is the first step to transformation, to undoing it.
That's so true. You can't change what you're not aware or don't choose to acknowledge.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. And
that's
some of these
powerful.
things are like things we don't want to admit about ourselves. It's our dark side. You know?
Yeah.
But the more that we can include that, the more we can live more fully.
So is that like the yin and yang?
Yeah, but it's like from the point of living beyond it. Like the yin and the yang is in this physical reality. Spirit's beyond the physical reality, right?
Okay.
So then you're into like the neutral mind. You can weigh the positive and the negative, and you take the right action, regardless if it's positive or negative.
Got it. Wow.
But in order to get to that place we have to accept both sides, our bright side and our dark side.
Okay.
Because if we ignore that, then we can't get up there to above it. We're saying that doesn't even exist. So we're going to stay over here on the positive side that we think about ourselves. A lot of it's, you know, to overcome the negative side.
And you will never be able to rise because you have to acknowledge what's within you.
Yes.
Wow.
And it's like acknowledge and including it. Like, love that part of you. Because that part of you made you who you are.
That is so true. Wow.
And we can always update that system to recognize the truth of who we are. Because again, I said those safety mechanisms were created from the most primal part of the brain, which is the reptilian brain. So it has no capacity to recognize the truth of who we are. Its only capacity is this life threatening or is this life giving?
Okay, got it.
And it bases all of its decisions on that.
Wow.
And then we keep those for life because we associate those defense mechanisms that we create in our mind, and we contort our bodies in a certain way, and we associate, well, we did that and we survived whatever perceived threat. That's what we're talking about, safety meccas. So when you were an infant, at some point in time you perceived a threat, so for you to deal with it, you said, well, let me do this mentally, and let me do this physically, and that those two things got hooked up with your survival. So your mind keeps recreating those situations so that you can experience that, which that experience equals safety.
Wow. Do you teach?
I'm teaching. I'm teaching you right now.
Okay, got it. All right,
yeah,
now.
I teach, that's what I am.
No, this is a personal honor, I swear. I needed all of that.
You're getting a personal instruction, a consulting session. I'm starting a business, a transformational consulting business, where I get in and we'll find out what you want, and we'll find out what's stopping you. And it'll start out with the surface stuff, like this and that and the other thing. But then we'll start getting to the meat, which is, are we going to the Palazzo or the Venetian?
The Venetian.
The Venetian?
Yeah. Oh, well, no, is that the Palazzo? Yeah, I see the Major Domo.
Okay.
Yep, that's fine.
Good. I was going. So where was I at? Oh, so then we get to like the really deep stuff where you're actually creating it, which you are resisting, and we'll like undo that from more of a intentional, directly intentionally doing it, as opposed to like meditation's like organic.
Yeah,
it'll kind of come undone by itself. That's why I say let all the stuff that'll come undone by itself come undone, and then when you hit those stuffs that's like pretty solid there, that's when you want to get like a healer or something like that, unless you go that journey. But your journey's not that. Your journey's this chocolate stuff. So you find a healer that'll help you like get through those blocks.
Okay.
And then you'll be free of them. Then you won't be like recreating it over and over again in order to feel safe.
Right.
Like, let me give you an example here. We got a couple minutes here.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't know why I want to go to the woman thing, but let me think about a business. I guess I'll use the woman thing since it's so convenient.
Okay.
So it's like a woman that continually gets into abusive relationships.
Yes.
Because the deep part of her feels that she's safe in those relationships. However bizarre that looks from a logical point of view, there's a part of her that from a cellular level feels safe in that environment. And she keeps recreating it so she can feel safe. And here's the other thing is like
that was a great example.
Yeah. Well, thank you. It didn't come from me, but because my mind was trying to go somewhere else, so I just gave in the spirit. I said, okay.
Yes.
Do what spirit wants, because that's what our mind tends to do. It wants to override it. But it's like I want to come up. That's the thing. I think for me teaching, because I'm more about business. You know what I'm saying? It's like
right.
I could help anybody with this stuff, right?
Right.
you know, people with relationship issues, with health issues, and every facet of that, you know. Whereas I'm going to be helping people find their purpose, like what you're finding, you know, and
Yes.
removing the blocks. So because it doesn't matter what area, when you remove those blocks, it removes it for all, because we're holographic in all areas of your life. So that's why I would like to have a business example, because it would be more in line with talking to people about it.
Yeah.
So, but it's just like, you know, and it comes back to our worthiness. So if we feel we're only so worthy, then, you know, like if we're making progress and stuff,
yeah.
it's like self-sabotage. We'll create something in our life that'll keep us at this level.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
No, that makes a lot of sense.
And we're creating it. It's not like it's happening to us. We're creating it from the inside, so it happens that way. Whereas if we get free, we can create anything we want from, you know, from the inside as well. So we'll stop creating these
You picking somebody up or
I'm
dropping
off?
Okay, I gotta get you dropping off because
Okay.
I can't have it parked here.
Okay. all right.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I appreciate you.